Hey guys, it's me, Anthony, and today I'm actually out in the garage, somewhat different of a location than normal for me, but it's for good reason that I'm in the garage, because today I'm excited to get started on a little project that began with us going back to Ohio to visit some family, and one of my cousins was having a garage sale, or setting up for one, and I found this beautiful piece in a mix of different things. This is a vintage 1960s electric guitar, Teisco style. I'll get into more details about that, but he was kind enough to gift me this thing. And because I saw this, I opened up the case for it, and I was just in love at the moment I saw this beauty. So, yeah, I'm super happy and super thankful because I instantly saw this and wanted a guitar to do a project on. Why guitars is because I've been kind of getting into them. I've recently acquired a Fender Stratocaster, 1957 reissue style Stratocaster. The circumstances of me getting that is actually insane, but I won't get into that because that's not what this video is about. Anyways, that has gotten me really into electric guitars, not only playing and trying to, you know, just know how to play a guitar, not being good at it by any means, but as well fixing them up. I got to learn how to fix up that Strat, and through that also somewhat other guitars and wanting to learn other guitars. So this was a no-brainer when I saw it because it needs a lot. As you can see, that is something I did not want to do right now, but I had already taken it apart because, well, to get this from Ohio back to me to California in the cheapest manner, I ended up taking it apart and putting it in the luggage. So now we got a neck and a body to work with, which is actually good. Didn't have any strings on it, so that is nice, but there is, you know, some issues with it that need to be fixed and addressed or added on. Either way, I do want to really get started badly on this project, so let's get to it. Alright, so here I'm at my workbench for this video. Just table with cloth that we have out here. The guitar's brand was something I had not seen before. I'm gonna pronounce it Maruha. Like, I had not seen this. Most of the brands you see are like Teisco. That's like the big one, everybody. I'm gonna refer to this one as a Teisco because I really don't really want to refer it to its actual name, Maruha, since the only thing I could find was one guitar with the same logo that is an acoustic on Google Images. So with that being that, I'm just going to refer to it as a Teisco, and it looks to be almost modeled after a Fender like Mustang or a Jazzmaster, like both of them combined. Either way, when I saw this, my first thought was the Kurt Cobain Jagstang by Fender, and yeah, I kind of just got really excited at that thought because that was kind of like one of my dream guitars, still is for a while. Just a sweet design. Anyways, this kind of has that same kind of design. It actually has what looks to be a off-brand like big 60s or 70s Fender kind of headstock there. But the pieces that we're missing for this is a nut for the guitar, and then the other thing is getting a bridge for this because this one specifically does not. It must have fell off because it usually just lays on the guitar. And for here, we do have a bridge with a whammy bar that would have went on here, but I'm not sure if I will do that or not. It just determines on if I could find a whammy bar for cheap. A lot of these parts are really expensive, so I'm just gonna try to go as budget as I can since I did get this guitar for free, but as well clean it up because obviously this has some spots on pick guard, even actually just the wood. This is gonna be polished up, of course, to get it looking really nice. The plastic, there is some cracks on there. Let me see if I can focus on that. There we go. you can see some cracks. One there, and there's one right there. This is gonna need to be taken apart and looked at. I can't wait to do that. But this finish, to my eyes, does not look original, even though I'm gonna keep it that way, this red finish, because it looks super awesome. Kind of like a Fiesta red, which is super awesome. Love that colorway of fenders. And how I can notice that is because there's like different paint jobs in here, and the headstock was just super stuck. I mean, this thing was holding on together really nicely, and actually too nicely that I had to use some tools to pry it off. So this is gonna probably need to be sanded on the inside here, just to make it so then as well I can sand this down and it just kind of fit actually like how it should. Not sanding it down too much because I don't know what they did to this guitar, but just making it so it doesn't stick like that anymore. But yeah, for the most part, I think for right now, what I'm gonna do is take this body apart. I already tested it with an amp, and the pickups and knobs do work. They are scratchy, so we will need to clean that stuff up and probably resolder some things, but I do want to take this apart and then possibly get to cleaning this. And once I know where we're at and where we're going with this project, then will I start purchasing some things like the nuts, the bridge, and yeah, we'll go from there. But for right now, let's take this apart and see what's inside. Alright, so I'm just going to narrate these parts as it goes, and here I'm going to start by taking off the pick guard and getting all my components basically taken off of the body of the guitar. I'm inspecting some of the components here, making sure to find that ground wire, and actually I'll end up cutting the ground wire just to replace it and put in a new one. Here I'm taking off the bridge, the tremolo portion of it, finding where that ground wire initially was, and yeah, just gonna take that out and fully be able to take the pick guard off and lay that off to the side there. Now I'm gonna inspect the bridge, the tremolo system, and kind of figure it out a bit, see if it is working, and put it back into place, because it was kind of out of alignment. And then there I'm just taking off the other floating bridge system. And now the body is ready to be taken over to be cleaned. I decided to test out some different cleaners, but what I found that worked best on the body was this plastic polish made for cars that I'll use later on. I just started, you know, polishing up the body of the guitar using it, and you can see that it actually removes some of the paint, just a very light amount, but what that does is all those spots that were in the paint there are now just totally gone, and I ended up, you know, just polishing the front and back of the body. Here I'm doing the headstock as well, and once it's, you know, polished up, clean it with a wet wipe, or you could use just a wet rag, and then once you dry it off, you can see it just really shines. I haven't seen this stuff used for that purpose, but I would highly recommend you give it a try. Now I'm taping off the frets so that they can be polished up. I'm gonna actually start with a 320 grit sandpaper, just very lightly taking off the top of the frets so that there are no more bumps, and then going with the steel wool to polish them up just a little bit more and make them feel smooth. Once you get that smooth feeling from the frets, you can move on, and I'm just gonna do this to all of them, starting with the sandpaper like I do there, and then just going with the steel wool, polishing them up, make sure to feel them, and then afterwards, I started using this aluminum polish for vehicles that I get from Walmart, and just using a leftover rag, I polish them up. You can see that it turns black when you know that it is working. From white to black, and I'm just going to go over all of them, and that really just allows them to shine. Going with a fret cleaner now here, and just making sure that there's no more dirt on the frets, and then as well going with another cleaner to just kind of soak in and make the fretboard just feel nice and smooth and clean to the touch. And there you can see, you know, it looks really, really nice compared to what it was. Nice and dark, and that rosewood's just really, really shining now. Moving on to the pick guard, I'm just taking a wet wipe and taking off all the dirt. I could have probably easily just left it as is, and after wiping it down and drying it, it looked really, really nice, but I kind of wanted to go further with it, so I took out that plastic polish, and that was what I was initially going to use it for. Just polishing this up so then it really gives it almost a mirror shine. Moving on to the parts, I'm just using that wet wipe again to clean off all the dirt. I also have a toothbrush on the side and some rubbing alcohol there for much deeper contact. But there I'm polishing up the pickups with that metal polish again. You can see the obvious difference that makes. And then I'm gonna just do the same exact process but for the tremolo bridge. Wet wiping it and drying it off, and then going in with that metal polish right there, Mother's Mag aluminum polish that you can get from Walmart or some auto parts stores. And yeah, once I polish it up, while there are some scratches still on it, does look really, really nice, and just has that mirror effect to it. Moving on to the electronics now, I'm going to solder on our new ground wire, and since there was no good way of soldering it to the bridge, I just crimped it onto a screw there. Okay, so quick update. I finally got in the bone nut to be put on to our guitar neck. Came in a 4-pack, just bought them off Amazon. I think they were 10 bucks. And the size that I needed was a little bit wonky, but I was able to find it, and it fits really nice. I'm not gonna have to really shape, I don't think, any of the sizing when it comes to the depth and as well the length and stuff. But when it comes to the height, that does need adjusted, and I don't know if you can see there that I did do some markings. How I did this is I just used my Stratocaster, my Fender Stratocaster, as a guide. Since this is a pretty similar fretboard, and I would say the frets are pretty similar in height, so I'm just going to shave the height of this down to where I put my pencil markings. And if it fails, then I just have more attempts, but I'm pretty sure this will be pretty good, or at least, you know, work for the time being. In order to shape the bone nuts to the neck, I'm using some 100 grit sandpaper and just laying it on the ground, evenly scraping the excess off, looking at the bone nut occasionally to make sure I know where I'm at, and just going through. And while it does take a long time, you can see all the powder it left, it is well worth it, because in this case it really needed to be shaped to that neck in a very particular way. I couldn't have made it just straight on. So using wood glue here, wiping off the excess, I'm gonna then use some painter's tape to just secure it on, moving it around, making sure that it is in place. And once I take it off after a day of curing, and that thing is not going anywhere. That same day, a package arrived from eBay, and that's where I purchased a vintage bridge piece, something that I felt like would be authentic to the guitar, but also would fit correctly. And once that was put on, I got out my strings, just some Ernie balls, regular slinkies, and strung up the guitar. Okay, so the guitar is finally finished up, and it is looking absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. I mean, it's exactly what I was hoping to achieve with it, and I'm really, really happy with it. I got it strung up. This thing just has been really nice, and has been sounding really, really nice as well. The truss rod was able to be adjusted, which was fantastic. And I've got it pretty much where I would like it. It's a little bit taller than my Stratocaster, but I kind of dig that. I kind of dig that it's a different string height that, you know, just gives it a little bit of a different subtle feeling to it, because it's got a little bit of a a different sound, you know? I'm gonna call it, for now, the Maruha Jazz Stang, because kind of similar to like the Jag Stang. This thing just reminds me of like a mixture. It's got like the Jazz Master style floating bridge system, the similar kind of smaller, short scale body of a Mustang. So really cool. I love this. I love this instrument. The only thing I couldn't get figured out, which I'm not sure if I will down the road, would be the tremolo arm. So yeah, without further ado though, I have my little practice amp here, and we're gonna go on the neck position first, just a clean tone. So you guys can hear that at a little bit more gain. Maybe EQ it a bit. Take that to noon. And then personally my favorite, it's just got this like, almost digital sounding vibe that I'm getting from the pickups that I love. They're not super perfect in a way. They have this this grungy feeling to even the clean tones that I don't know. I really dig personally. We're gonna go to the bridge pickup now, which yeah, it's just got this like it's got this just amazing tone to it that I just dig a lot. Both together just gives you like a fuller range from what I found, a fuller tone, which I still haven't like figured out what I like the best. I think the best I found is the neck pickup, in my opinion, for tone. But either way, it's got some stuff that you can do there variation-wise. I'm gonna add some distortion here now because I'm gonna crank this all the way, the gain on this. The tone from this on a distortion level is also just like, I think this is gonna be my main when it comes to like a punk rock type of sound that I'm trying to go for. Hear it with that like note, and then it's like you turn it to just volume, like you could just hear that difference, that like it just, it's got this like fuzzy sound without needing a fuzz pedal at all. Crazy sounding guitar, and it feels and plays really nicely. So at least for me, you know, to what I know, you know, and I'm still a beginner at this stuff, but I was able to get this, you know, to where I think it's really shining, you know, and it's working really nicely. So I couldn't be more happy, you know, to have put my blood and sweat well worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's different and not something, you know, I do at all on the channel, but I just thought it'd be fun and, you know, have you guys join for the ride. And as well, I just want to thank again my cousin Chad for gifting me this. In hopes, you know, that I could get some use out of it and restore it, and I'm happy that he did, because it was a lot of fun to get it to where it is, and it's going to be a really fun guitar to mess around and noodle on. So thank you again to him, and yeah, if you guys enjoy this video and want to support me, please subscribe, like the video, and comment down below. You know, if you have any questions about this guitar, about the process, or as well if you just want to leave a comment about guitar stuff. You know, if you have any experience doing any restorations or things on similar guitars or different ones, you know, I'd love to hear it, you know, and chat about it in the comments. So thank you guys again, and we'll see you with more videos in the future.